What do you think of when you hear the name back rub? You probably think of massages, right? But what do you think about when you hear the name Google? Starting as an idea between two college grads, they initially went with the former, but now they go with what we know today as Google. Now, let me lay a foundation for you. Google was founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Both of them were college grads at Stanford. They didn't really like each other at first. Brin was giving Page a tour of the campus, and in '95 they came up with the idea of Backrub. They wanted to create a search engine that used links, and these links would direct you to pages that were based on popularity, and how popular these pages were determined how high they were up on the list. But here's the thing, their first server was made from Legos, which typically are a popular child's toy. The history, our history, is as important as our future. And Google has a place in all of that. They officially changed their name before the launch of the company in '96, and they changed this name to represent the number Google, which is 1 followed by 100 zeros. And this is basically how they started the representation of their company, because they wanted to have a search engine that just spanned as far as you can reach, as far and as wide as you can go. Now, it started in a garage, and they were officially launched in January 1st of 1996. 2 years later, in the August of 1998, they got their first investment for $100,000. Now think about that for a second. What would you do? Would you sell your company? Probably. Especially in '98. It's a lot of money in '98. But no, they invested it, and they got their first office owned by who is now CEO of YouTube. And now they're officially located at the Googleplex many years after its multiple successes throughout history. Today, Google, just like its counterpart, is massive. I'm talking multi-billion-dollar company massive. One of the most valuable companies in the world, up there with Amazon, who we all know is extremely popular and extremely lucrative. But not on top of that, they do a lot for the world as a whole, funding charities and following trends in which they try to assist and help make the world a better place. They also, on top of that, make a lot of products. They own YouTube, in which they pay out hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to very popular people. They own Gmail, Android, and of course, as we all know, they own the Google search. Now, as we know, Google as a whole is extremely popular. They're very viable, they're very valuable, and they're used just about everywhere in the world. And because of that, they've managed to gain a lot of popularity. And they've come a long way in their history, starting from a server made on Legos to now being this massive company that, well, you could say is quite successful, and they've been very successful in their history. And in all honesty, according to Google themselves, on their infographic page, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, they actually didn't like each other. And to think that this company was started by two people who didn't even like each other, and they're as successful as they are today, you should probably start looking into helping your enemies become your friends.